See it inside the thing.
Let's pray. Father in heaven, mighty God, we come to you in the name of your Son, Yahushua. Thank you for a beautiful, wonderful day in which we can come together, fellowship, give you honor and praise, worship you, oh God. You're above all things, and we just look to you for all things, everything. Father, we're blessed by you and pray that you continue to bless us with understanding and growth. In Christ's name we pray. Amen. All right. We got a chance to look at y'all's Hebrew names.
I don't know the Hebrew name.
You don't know? Pfeiffer, where's your name come from? German?
Yeah.
Europe.
German and
Russia.
Jewish, maybe? I forget.
Jewish? Pfeiffer?
German and.
Oh, you're talking about Ashkenazi Jew.
Maybe, but I'm about to tell you in a second.
What about Ryan? Where does that come from? What language is Ryan?
That's American.
No, it's not. Land of Rye. That's not here.
She said that's an American name. Where's that name from?
No, but I'm about to find
Y'all don't have Hebrew names?
No.
Oh,
Outside of. No.
okay. So
Miami. No.
next we need to have Hebrew names. Which is good for y'all because at least y'all get to have some saying it.
Yeah, you don't have different. Yeah, okay, one of them.
Aliyah is a Hebrew name.
And
She's the going up. She doesn't have a Hebrew name. Donnie, that's
English and German.
English and German.
I could have said English.
It's a pipe. It's a pipe.
Yeah, English, muffin.
Let's see. No, I told you it was Jewish. And then it's Ashkenazi.
Which one?
Piper. German and Jewish. I was like, I know I saw Jewish in there before. That was before, no. But German and
Where
Jewish.
did you get the English from?
It is English. It's German. It's a Jewish German name, and it's an English name.
does it mean the same in all three of those languages?
A pipe, like a pipe.
I have it.
And a whistler, and then it's the second in command. So like the fife player, why it's second in command is the fife player is who plays the battle after the drummers for going into battle. Gets them all in line, gets the rhythm, gets the whatever, and he plays.
All right, so you need a name. You might as well be called Judah.
Who, Piper?
Yeah, because that's what Judah does.
Mm.
They lead the battle in praise. All right, Dot, what is your Hebrew name?
So we just named him Judah.
Dutton.
Piper.
What's wrong with
Piper, Bradley, Olushade, Judah.
Johnson.
Koyosho.
Sorry.
Johnson.
Judah Johnson.
What is your Hebrew name?
Dutton.
Nobody's
His
playing.
name is Dada. Or Darda.
Dada.
That's just in the Bible.
Hebrew.
What does it mean?
I don't know.
You should know.
Part of
I told
knowledge.
y'all,
That's what Dada
I
said.
told y'all to look at y'all.
Dada said it's part
It's
of
not just
knowledge.
pearl of knowledge.
That's what Dada said.
Didn't I tell you to look at Hebrew name?
Yeah.
Sure. I'm gonna tell you
Why
what it
didn't you
is.
do it?
That's what the father said. Part of
I know
knowledge.
it's more than that. It's wisdom and knowledge.
Okay.
How do you say it?
Dada.
Cannot be.
D-A-R-D-A.
Darada. How would you say it?
I don't
Oh,
know.
I'm about to open it. I'm about to open it and tell you. 1 Kings 4:31.
It's a ocean.
I don't have one.
No, it's not. That's English.
Yeah.
It's Victoria. Victoria.
Adele, what's your Hebrew name?
Daddy, I don't
This is what she does. You don't think she's old enough? Sure she is. Adele, what's your Hebrew name? There
Good
you
job. Good job.
go.
baby.
Take it back. You
That's only because she
said
already
she was too young.
no, she already knows it because
D-A.
she doesn't know what you mean, but since she knows
Okay, so
her
it can't
name,
be
she
that.
just said, "Oh, Leah."
I got you. That's a Hebrew name. What is it mean?
Derda.
That is incorrect.
Pearly knowledge, yes, Mom. Outline of biblical. But I want to go into
Look for that word in Paleo Hebrew.
How do you do that?
Could I please just, so somehow my name has grown so much, for years, I could never find anything on my name. I put names look to get the definition of my name. They don't know the origin is unknown, obviously, right? But it says, you have the power and potential to achieve great things. It is both your challenge and your birthright to gain dominion over a small part of the earth. Whatever your enterprise, you strive to be the best and most successful in your field. You are highly competitive and will not rest until you are satisfied that you have bypassed the opposition. You enjoy challenges and rivalry. You are a realist and a visionary planner. You want success in the fullest meaning, wealth, power, and material comforts. You have an enormous ambition. You dream of big projects, great undertakings, and rewards. You are a visionary. You see the horizon and the promise. In general, you also see the methods necessary to fulfill that promise. But you are not especially good with details. You need others to help you deal with smaller parts of the picture.
That's not new.
I mean,
I mean,
it's
it
telling
sounds
you about the people with this. It goes on and on and on, but I've just never seen
What's your
anything like
Hebrew
this.
Thank you, Mom. My name is
Deep Lane.
Davala.
Okay.
I'm gonna well, you haven't found it?
Arteria.
Because don't y'all have the same?
The same name.
What do you mean?
So
with
maybe
Means the
it's
same
actually
thing.
supposed to be Dara, because that would be, I can deal with that as a pronunciation. Dara instead of the Dara.
They have
Ray is Scottish.
Dada in this.
They do, but it's the same name as Dara.
So I'm gonna look
It's
for
the exact
Dara.
same name.
Look for Dara in there and see what they say to pronunciation. How they pronounce it.
So my name
What?
Ray is Scottish.
Oh, okay.
French.
Mhm.
Time. Okay, we should all have Hebrew names.
We'll get one for her.
It's the other people.
No, that's good.
So if somebody asks
It's
you for my
lioness.
full name, I have to say Judah too.
If you want the blessings,
my name is Demby Benign Ephraim.
you already have a Hebrew name. You're the son of Ephraim.
You don't know what they're talking about.
Where's Ephraim in your family?
Mhm.
Mhm. it is Darasala because in they say it one way in First Kings, and then they say it a different way, which is Dara in First Chronicles 2:6.
Right, so I'm saying,
But I'm too many apps.
okay, so I need to name my firstborn. And, you know, I was supposed to give her, well, I believe that we've done it, but not formally give her to the Lord. Firstborn.
Firstborn get a boy, not girl.
Not girl.
She broke the womb.
Firstborn boy, the boy that opens the womb, not the girl that opens the womb. That's what he says. Okay.
When in Egypt, when all those firstborns died, were they all boys?
Yes, only boys were killed.
So no girls were killed.
No,
No firstborn girls.
no, it's firstborn boys.
No, in that one, it said all firstborn, period. And it killed all firstborn.
It's firstborn boys.
It didn't say that in
Okay, this is why it's good to study.
Because
all firstborns were killed. It didn't matter if it was a boy or girl. In that story. For Egypt. In that story, all firstborns were killed.
So one of our fellow members of the gathering says, that's not fair for Ray. I don't know what that means. Daniel, Darda is a Hebrew name. It's pearl of wisdom.
Yeah. Okay, so Dara, that's how it's called. The arm.
Those are two different things.
Yeah, but that's not it. And the concordance itself, it is the same. So this strong definition, this is not strong definition. I'm just looking at this interlinear or whatever. It's a contraction form of H1862, which is by
All right, so Da, Ra. Dad, if you want to say it any other way, you have to say Da, Ra, Da.
Da, ra, da.
What is? How do you say Judah in ancient Hebrew?
Yahuda.
Yeah, how about that?
Yes, I was about to say, yeah.
Yeah, how about that? Okay. All right, so
okay, you say you want to give her the name, Hebrew name, so what is it?
we got to take our time.
Oh, okay, that's what you wanted to give her now.
We got to take our time.
What about the rest of the people? You gave five the name already.
Yeah, because Vernon told me what
Oh,
Five
okay,
means.
what five means, okay.
All right, my name, which looks like the blame, is actually Da Balayin. Da Balayin. It means
Wow.
rule fig cakes. When I told that to her, she laughed for about 5 minutes.
About who?
4 or 5 minutes. Because we have a saying, when someone is soft or sweet, they're a cake. But what it is the Israelites would have figs, fresh figs. They would take fresh figs,
Yeah.
and they would put them together. So we don't have figs here, but can you imagine raisins? Well,
We have figs, yeah.
yeah,
I
we
ate figs. Where I'm from, they used to live before they had figs.
have figs.
Yeah, and I ate them.
Things grow here easily.
So the cake is put in lumps of, it would make a lump of figs, press them all together real tight. Okay? If you had these, it meant that you're doing really well. I'm a dual layer fig cake. Kabbalah is what that means. That means that too. Really well. Okay. So when I say likened unto a fig tree, this is definitely not about me. I want to share with y'all how Israel or Yasharala is likened unto a fig tree in many ways. When the fig tree wasn't producing fruit for the Christ, what do you tell me?
The costume.
Said no more.
How many seasons does a fig have?
Just one.
Two seasons. The first season is in spring.
Yeah.
The second season is
That's
in fall. When are the holy days?
Spring and fall.
The first half is in the
Spring.
the second half
in the
Fall.
fall.
fall. They would usually do the cakes in the fall. It's to say that all the stuff, the better stuff, is going to come later. All right. So it signifies peace and prosperity. Let's go to 1 Kings chapter 4. First Kings chapter 4, starting at let's go down to
1 Kings chapter 4.
verse 20.
Who, me?
I'll go ahead and read. Now we got to find something else for you to do.
Something in the Lord.
For that to do.
I can sing.
That's some stuff. They're not playing, not letting.
So under verse 20, it says, Judah, Yehoiada, and Israel, Yasharala, were many as the sand which is by the sea in multitude. Is that prophecy fulfilled?
Yes.
Who heard this prophecy? Who was this told to?
Isaac. No, to Jacob. Are you talking about Abraham?
Abraham. Remember he told him, if you can count
Mm-hmm.
sand, you can count the stars, you can count the sand on the sea.
Yeah.
So it shall be. Judah and Israel were many as the sand which is by the sea in multitude, eating and drinking and making merry. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river unto the land of the Philistines and unto the border of Egypt. That you see that? Where's the land of the Philistines? That?
In Iran.
And then unto the border of Egypt. Where's that?
In Africa.
Okay. So you said that the promised land was where?
In West Africa.
So you see how far that is?
In Canaan.
Remember I told you that you should study this instead of listening to the people? Egypt is north.
Yeah, it's in North Africa.
North Africa.
Yes.
Not West Africa.
Yeah.
Yes, they were doing Egypt down south.
How is that the promised land if we're looking at the promise being fulfilled here? We're in the land where they were supposed to be, the land of the Philistines, to the land of Egypt, to the border land of Egypt. That's right. Let's make this Africa. This is what you're saying. West Africa is here. Egypt is here. The land of the Philistines is here. So the promised land is here, not here. According to the scriptures, that's why I tell you to study the scripture. You see it?
Invalid.
That's
I get-
Is that Russia?
What?
This side you just pointed to.
No, I was showing the horn of it.
Oh, the Horn of Africa. Okay.
I eject.
Niger. That's Niger. Chad.
No, way up here.
The Horn of Africa isn't it Chad?
All right, so let's do it like this. I wish I had a marker. This,
I thought we used to have that before.
y'all see my tracing,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
Madagascar over here, and the horn right here.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Chad is in 90s.
Yes, Chad would be
Nigeria.
here. Yeah,
Yes,
Nigeria would be
Nigeria.
here. Okay, so we're up here. Egypt is here,
Mhm.
Okay.
Yes.
and then the land of the Philistines is here.
Mhm.
This is what he's talking about. That West Africa's all over here.
Mhm.
Yeah. Man Canaan.
Okay.
All right. And Solomon reigned over all kingdoms from the river unto the land of the Philistines and unto the border of Egypt. They brought presents and served Solomon all the days of his life. And Solomon's provision for one day was 30 measures of fine flour and 60 measures of meal, 10 fat oxen, and 20 oxen out of the pastures, and 100 sheep. So it says 10 fat oxen, and then it says 20 oxen out of the pastures. What does that mean?
Yeah, the 20 wasn't fat.
Right. So
The other one was fattened.
right. So you had 20 of them that they're just doing the regular
Yeah.
walking around eating, and they had 10 of them
That were fattened.
that they just you can't move. They feed them.
Mhm.
Have you ever tasted that? It's kind of like wagyu. How do you say that? Wagyu beef.
What is what
It's like fat infested beef.
I love that.
So this was one day. This is how he would eat
It's not finished.
in one day. Yeah, I'm not done. So he had 10 big old cows. That's beef,
Mhm.
and then 20 not so big cows. Because is he eating all this?
No, it's for everybody.
Okay. Which ones is he eating of?
The fat.
Fat, sure. And 100 sheep, beside harts and roebucks and fallow deer and fatted fowl. For he had dominion over all the region on this side of the river, from Tipshah even to Azar, over all the kings on this side of the river, and he had peace on all sides round about him. Now watch this. I just told y'all that the fig tree represents peace and prosperity. You see the prosperity, and you know Solomon reigned and he had peace from all his enemies, right? It says it right here in the end of 24, and he had peace on all sides round about him. Verse 25 is what I'm trying to get to. And Judah, or Yahwadah, and Israel, or Yasharallah, dwelt safely, every man under his vine and under his fig tree, from Dan even to Beersheba all the days of Solomon. Peace and prosperity. This is a beautiful picture of what God has intended for us.
It's got a finger eating one day.
One day, feasting every single day. Does that interest y'all? Or y'all just want to live like this for the rest? You want your children to live like this, or you want them to live like that?
I like that.
Absolutely. So, you see the prophecy is fulfilled. There's a bunch of people. They have peace, they have prosperity, and then we see that one of the indicators is they all had their own vine and their own fig tree. Okay, each man under his, how does it say?
Under his vine and under his fig tree.
Every man under his vine and under his fig tree. A lot. You do very well if you live like that. All right, let's look at something else. Let's go to 2 Kings 18:31.
Write these scriptures down.
Is it 18 verse 1?
31.
Second Kings.
Sorry, verse 29. Second Kings chapter 18.
18 verse 29.
No, it's 21. It's literally right by verse.
Oh, 21? I thought you said 29.
You said 29 or 21?
29.
29.
I did say 31, but I want to start at 29.
Only me listening.
Is that wrong?
Thank you.
Jeez. Okay, I'm there.
Ryan Harris Kusaman was spelt or wheat, a type of wheat, which rye is a type of wheat, barley, all that. But there's three.
In that case, I'm
different
listening
names for land.
too. I was already there.
Oh, damn, so
Yeah. I'm listening to mom.
Yeah.
I was in my head, I was like, oh, we got somebody to replace Daniel over there. Wise.
Okay, it's not here to tell me good job, Mom.
You would have competed just like you.
Thus saith the king, let not Hezekiah deceive you, for he shall not be able to deliver you out of his hand. Neither let Hezekiah make you trust in the Lord, saying, the Lord will surely deliver us, and this city shall not be delivered into the hand of the king of Assyria. Hearken not to Hezekiah, for thus saith the king of Assyria, make an agreement with me by a present, and come out to me. And then eat ye every man of his own vine, and every one of his fig tree. And drink ye every one of the waters of his cisterns. You see what he's doing here? Hezekiah is an Israelite, the king of the Israelites. I think King of Judah. But the king of Assyria is saying, don't be loyal to your king. Come with me, fight with me, and then I'll give you what?
Your own system, your own vine, and your own
Victory. Because what was Israel?
getting.
That's for Solomon. That was the standard. They were able to have that. Since then, they've been stripped from that. So do you see how the motivation is to try to get back there? And so he's saying, look, I'll have y'all to have peace and prosperity. I know that's what you want. And so you see it there again. I want to go to...
Hezekiah was king of Judah, not Israel.
That's what he said.
That's good. Y'all fact checking me. I love it. I want everybody to do that. Let's go to 2 Kings chapter 20. Show you what figs can do. And I'm glad because what Adania's going through is good. We're going to see what the Lord just did here. 2 Kings chapter 20, I'm going to read from verse 1 through 7. Back here. Let me see here, no?
What is he?
And 2 Kings 20
We'll
verse 1.
get
1 through 7.
If we were still at the other place, I could have brought y'all some.
Yeah.
No, they stopped growing after a while.
Yeah, that's because they were out of season.
Nope. Even in season, they stopped growing.
So what happens is if they don't get watered, figs are. Listen to me. These things.
That's the big
These things.
I'll think about them.
These trees. They're the ficus plant, whatever. But these things, they're kind of like how sheep are separate from all other animals. They're not like every other animal. They don't think like an animal for whatever reason. These fig trees is the same. They're not like other plants. If you take a fig and you don't eat it within the first, I don't know how long, it goes bad very fast. It's like an apple. You can have an apple for a little while. You pluck a fig, you don't eat it, it's gonna die very fast. That's why
they dry it.
That's why you mostly see dry figs. Hurry up and dry it. Okay, that's what they would do in the fall too. All right. So let me read. In those days was Hezekiah sick unto death. And the prophet Isaiah, the son of Amos, came to him and said unto him, thus saith the Lord, set thine house in order, thou shalt die and not live. This is the same Hezekiah that we just read about in 18. Then he turned his face to the wall and prayed unto the Lord, saying, I beseech thee, O Lord, remember now I have walked before thee in truth with a perfect heart, and have done that which is good in thy sight. And Hezekiah wept sore. And it came to pass afore Isaiah was gone out into the middle court that the word of the Lord came to him, saying, turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people is king. The role as a king is also to be a captain, right? Okay. Turn again and tell, verse 5, turn again and tell Hezekiah, the captain of my people, thus saith the Lord, the God of David, thy father, I have heard thy prayer. I have seen thy tears. Behold, I will heal thee. On the third day thou shalt go up into the house of the Lord. And I will add unto thy days, how long?
15 years.
15 years. Wow. And I will deliver thee and this city out of the hand of the king of Assyria, and I will defend this city for mine own sake and for my servant David's sake. And Isaiah said, take a lump of figs. And they took it and laid it on the wall, and he recovered. What is this?
It's medicine.
Fortis.
Yeah.
Poultice?
Yeah.
I've heard that word before. What is it? You're saying it right.
Yeah.
Mash, like a mash kind of whatever the stuff.
Yeah.
And then you apply it.
I have a question for you. What type of boil will kill you?
Highly infected.
Monkeypox.
Monkey.
I was thinking the same
Were
thing
you
about
expecting that one?
Watching the news?
Monkey pus.
Hot.
Pox.
Like It sounds like monkey post.
Pus?
What kind of a boy will kill you?
Look it up. Look it up.
Okay.
That's a boy that has infected the whole
That's what
body.
I'm saying.
It has infected the whole body.
A very infectious bacteria boil.
Because a boy is just
Carbuncles.
something that a boy is the dead white blood cells that is collected.
And it's after a bacterial infection.
Simpsons.
Okay, Ron, I want you to look up that verse in the Strong's. Verse 7. 2 Kings 20. Go down to verse 7.
Jeff, is Jeff listening?
No, I forgot to send it to Jeff.
Daniel. You can see them.
Why is that one?
2 Kings 7, verse 20.
20, verse 7. You done it, right? Y'all just playing away. All right, what am I talking about? It's not gonna work. I'm sure you do. Tell me what I'm talking about. Just say the
You may
things
not
I
understand
said.
it, but you may be able to repeat what he said.
I could hear you, but then I forget.
So you're not paying attention. Just say that.
All right.
Shakim. So I'm used probably meaning to burn, inflammation, and ulcer. Boil botch.
You said botch?
Mhm.
So,
It's been
inflammation.
used in the Bible. The same Strong's number H7822 has been used as the word boil and botch.
What the heck?
What is a botch?
I don't know. Botch is found twice in these translations in Deuteronomy 28 and 27 and 28 and 35. It says, like Deuteronomy 28, 27, the Lord will smite thee with the botch of Egypt, and with the emerods, and with the scab, and with the itch.
I just spelled the botch.
DOTCH, like a botched job. And then Deuteronomy 28, 35, the Lord shall smite thee in the knees and in the legs with a sore botch that cannot be healed, from the sole of thy foot unto the top of thy head. So it's botch.
Tim said Leonard has boys.
Leonard
The
has
same
balls.
word can be used for boil and botch. And it's Shakim. Anyway, Strong's
Is it true?
H782.
Sometimes I recall the time when people would go sit in Epsom salt for boys or something like that.
BOTCH.
I remember my mom was going to when she had to have surgery, she had a boil
And
back
ulcer,
there, and the
boil,
doctor
botch.
that did the surgery told her to go soak in Epsom salt.
So, botch now.
Mhm.
A swelling on the skin, a large ulcerous affection.
Yeah, so it said ulcer, boil, botch, but it's inflamed. It's inflamed, it's burning, and they said possibly leprous. Because remember, they one of the things that the priest had to look for was to see if there's a boil, right, for leprosy.
Yeah.
To check for one of those. So a boil doesn't have to be leprous, but it could be leprous.
Has anybody ever had a boil?
Yeah. You never had a boil?
You never had a
Whenever
boil?
I've had an ingrown hair,
Really?
That's a ball.
no, but it became into a boil because it became infected.
What's that?
It just looks like a glorified pimple, but it hurts.
Isn't that what happens when people get burnt?
Okay. Well, so,
A collective eruption on man, possibly leprous in Egypt on man and beast. It can be on both. But an inflamed ulcer.
staph infection could be that.
Oh, well, staph is the cause when the medical sciences says it's mostly caused by staphylococcus, so that bacteria.
Mhm.
So that's what I'm saying. Once that bacteria is not tamed, staph kills you easily.
Yeah.
Staphylococcus.
Teenagers. Boy, I tell you. I used to work with kids. I said she would laugh at the. I was like, how can you laugh at a kid getting hit by a car? Why would you be walking from the car?
You know, in some of these Hebrew Chaldean lexicon, it says in Job, I think it's in Job, Yep, and Job used of a kind of black leprosy endemic in Egypt called by physicians elephantiasis. This one says ptiasis, from the skin, being covered with black scales and the feet swelling up. That could be the leprous kind.
Big old boy on his thumb. He used to be scared of it. Oh, I'll never forget that. Kids are so scared of it.
So what I'm looking for is this is a deadly boil. All the stuff that y'all are saying is not deadly unless you say it gets into your blood.
It gets into the bloodstream.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
It gets into
And
the
it kills
bloodstream.
you. Mhm.
That's almost it. Like staph can be very deadly. That's why they don't like uncooked food, because staph is one of the things that could get into your stream and kill you.
All right. So this is what I want to do. I want y'all to find if you are having a staph infection, how long are you, like, some of the symptoms and how you get sick. We're going to study this together really quick.
Requires a medical diagnosis, just real quick. Common symptoms include boils and oozing blisters, just so you know. Staph can also cause food poisoning, resulting in nausea, vomiting, and stomach ache. In rare cases, staph infections can turn deadly if the bacteria invades deeper into the body or enters the bloodstream, resulting in fever, joint, and muscle pain.
Okay, how long about this? I'll tell you.
The pain is usually in the abdomen or skin. Diarrhea, nausea, or vomiting can happen, chills or fever. Okay, so now let's look at how fast can someone die with staph?
The bacteria that cause staph infections live harmlessly on many people's skin, often in the nose, armpits, and buttocks.
It results within days to weeks.
Days to weeks.
Mhm.
Okay, not long.
It's contagious.
Yeah, it's contagious.
Well, it said 20,000 people died with it in 2017.
So what's the difference between this and the tumor?
The tumor takes years.
Tumor takes some time.
Yeah. Takes some time to grow. It's malignant or non-malignant.
What if it's cancerous? Okay.
If it's cancerous, it's malignant.
Okay. So the verse says in verse 7, take a lump of figs, and they took it and laid it on the boil, and he recovered. And Hezekiah said unto Isaiah, what shall be the sign that the Lord will heal me? That I shall go up into the house of the Lord the third day. And Isaiah said, this sign shalt thou have of the Lord. Excuse me, that the Lord will do the thing that he had spoken. Shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or go back 10 degrees? And Hezekiah answered, it is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. Nay, but let the shadow return backward 10 degrees. Y'all know where we start right here? Okay, so
The sun died.
there you go. So the way that they would tell the time is they would have, let's use this circle. Everyone see? They would put something here that casts a shadow. And the shadow, depending on what time it was, right, it would tell you what time it is. Pretty smart. Isn't it? Pretty smart.
Yeah.
This is where the clock comes from.
Yes. So if the shadow goes down 10 degrees, I could have just had a lapse of time and then, right? If it goes down 10 degrees. What is 10 degrees? Huh?
Minutes.
I want y'all to answer the question. What is 10 degrees?
An hour,
Good question. I mean, good guess.
10 hours.
10
You can't
Fahrenheit.
tell
How
me
many-
because
Fahrenheit,
it's
2 hours.
24 hours, so
How many
10
degrees
is
is in? How many degrees is in dial? 360. So how many is 10 degrees?
350. So that's just one.
It's 360 degrees. Think about a clock.
So 10 degrees is 1 hour.
That's what they say.
360 would be out of 360, 10 degrees would be 1 hour.
Because when I'm thinking of, okay, this is
5
360.
minutes.
Where's the 350 at?
Yeah,
So let's do.
mathematics.
All right, let's do
Let's
this.
do 350 over 360.
Let's do it right now.
10.5.
36.
360 divided by 12.
360 divided by 24.
It's 30. Or 24. That's
All right, let's do that.
what is 30?
It's 30.
You got 24.
Oh, the clock. 360.
Oh, yeah, you're only going to use 12
12, and
because
it
of the sun
circles
dial.
12.
Let's do that.
Twice. So 360 divided by 12.
It's
Huh?
nighttime.
I'm saying, so that you have 1 o'clock in the morning and 1 o'clock in the afternoon. It goes twice.
1 o'clock.
Yeah, I know, it's only gonna do it one time, but I'm saying in terms of hours,
Yeah.
so you do 12,
So 30 parts. I don't think I should do
a third part.
that. What's a tenth of?
3 hours.
It's not gonna be.
5 hours.
It's not gonna be.
Oh, what, Daniel? You don't have the answer? Oh, he said 30 minutes. My bad, Daniel. I didn't scroll up.
So let's see. 30 minutes times.
I don't think so. First you have to figure out what an hour is.
Right. So an hour, if you divide, an hour would be 36 of those. I mean,
So
30
for every 30, that's 1 hour.
right, 360 divided by 12.
Right, so for every 30 degrees, that's 1 hour. So what's a third of 30? Or a third of an hour?
20 minutes.
20 minutes. So that's
All
the
right.
degrees.
So if it goes down 10 degrees,
That's 20 minutes.
20 minutes. So he's saying if it goes, he's saying if it goes down 10 degrees, then I just lost 20 minutes. That's not proving much. Because I could have fell asleep for 20 minutes. Y'all understand what he's saying? But if it goes back 10 degrees, that no one can do that. Right? No one can accidentally sleep in reverse. So what happens? He says, shall the shadow go forward 10 degrees or back 10 degrees? And Hezekiah answered, it is a light thing for the shadow to go down 10 degrees. Nay, but let the shadow return backward 10 degrees.
Turn back time 10 by 20 minutes.
Right, and Isaiah the prophet cried out to the Lord, and he brought the shadow 10 degrees backward, by which he had gone down in the dial of Ahaz. All right. So, Victoria, that's what I want to do. So, my daughter had a boil in her mouth.
Access.
Now I need to go find some fig because we prayed over it and it went away, didn't it? Then it came back. And then we chose to use antibiotics, which is when we got some fig.
The only reason it came back is the food she's eating, and then it gets tucked in there, so that bacteria is still there.
Yeah, but it shouldn't come back. I don't want it to come back.
So now get some fish.
Yeah. Oh, my phone came back.
He was worried.
Why?
But your shirt says good
Why did
karma.
I hear first?
Oh, yeah.
What did you do? Tell us. Confess.
Nothing.
Yeah, everybody got to learn.
Confess.
Oh, I'm trying
Confess.
to learn here.
You went and gave her some more antibiotics.
No,
What did you do?
I wouldn't stop looking at it. I was watching it like a hawk to see if it was gonna grow back.
And then what happened?
It grew back.
The doubt.
Yeah, pretty much.
But it's good because God is here, right?
Yeah.
Could God have told the prophet just go touch him and it'll go away? Could God have done that?
Yeah.
But instead, he had something else going, right? We're going to keep seeing stuff like this. Remember one person had leprosy, he told him to go to that place, the pool, whatever it was.
But you know.
Yeah, and go in there 7 times.
Yeah. Amen.
And he said, man, the guy was upset. He's like, man, this is all the beautiful waters that I passed by just to get here. Paraphrasing. There's all kinds of nice water where I came from.
Judah. I mean, Jordan, the Jordan River.
Yeah.
The Jordan River.
All kinds of nice places I could have went and got dipped in. And you tell me to come over here and
Yeah,
do
it was
something.
muddy and all that.
And so it was but his servant was smart. He says, look, man, if he would have told you some extravagant thing, you would have done it. Like if he would have told you some exorbitant, expensive thing, you would have run and did it. You would have did all that. I just tell you, go in there 7 times. You'll be healed. And what do you do?
He did it.
You got in there 7 times. And you did it. So we're going to keep seeing these things, these little hacks that God has provided. You use faith. And so I look forward to getting some figs.
Can I tell you something?
Yeah, what's up? What you got?
So I looked up figs and bacteria. It says figs may inhibit growth and survival of harmful microbes in food. Then it's also antibacterial activity of fig leaf extract against. So I don't know how to say these names. Enterococcus facialis is one of the bacteria that commonly found in root canal and pulp infection after root canal. So using the fig leaf.
Really?
Yes.
For root canal.
Yes.
See, right there?
Extract against, I can't say the word. Well, I can, but it's crazy. And cytotoxicity effects on fibroblast cells. So it's good. Fibroblast cells is some of the beginning of the cell growth. So it's one of the bacteria that commonly found in root canal and pulp infection, which that's what she has after root canal treatment. Sodium hypochlorite is the most widely used root canal irrigation. So sodium hypochlorite. So sodium with very little salt. So keep doing a saltwater rinse, which they tell you to do anyways after root canal.
They do not tell us what I do.
And most of I use for irrigation, that's to help get it out, but it has toxic properties. That's why they didn't tell you. It's exposed to periodicular tissues. Yeah. And then, anyways, I'll send this to you.
All right, cool.
But the fig leaf itself is more potent than the fig for killing bacteria. So you can make a poultice out of the poultice, out of the fig and the leaf.
Grind it.
I think you
Maybe
can grind,
add some olive oil to it.
but you can go to only very few places sell the figs before they've been dried.
Yeah, I need to find them.
Whole Foods might be one. I think I've seen Sprouts.
Sprouts, yeah.
And then I've seen sometimes, but only within season, sometimes at HEB.
That's got to be a season. Let's think about that. Okay. Let's go to Genesis 3:7. So we finish. Genesis chapter 3.
But is it hurting her?
No, we're praying that the Lord but to heal, even with the antibiotic, since we're not against it, obviously, because like the first time around, we used the antibiotic, it went completely away, and it literally came back like the next week. That's why she ended up having to get the root
Is she
canal
sucking on
first.
stuff?
So this time it could happen again, right? It could heal and then come back. So we're praying against it coming back. And if it does, they'll have to take the whole tooth out. So we can still see her. Like they showed me the scan, you can see all the teeth under there. So they wanted to see to make sure that the adult tooth was there, and it is. But we just don't want her to have to go back and do something again.
Is she sucking on the straw at all? Is she doing any of these? Because that's how abscesses quickly come.
When she drinks out of the straw, she
No, she don't need to drink out of the straw at all. Like you can't do that. That's how you get abscesses.
All right, let's go to Genesis chapter 3.
At least for now.
That's what.
Starting at verse 6. It says, and when the woman saw that the tree was good for food and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and the tree to be desired to make one wise, she took the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her. This is feminism. And he did eat. Okay, so we're just wrapping up with this. What trees do we know that was in the Garden of Eden?
Apple.
No, it's not apple. That's what people
Fig
think.
trees.
Okay, good.
I'm sure there was an olive tree.
Olive trees.
Pretty sure there was a fig tree.
No, what's written? I don't know.
What's
That was a good guess.
Tree of knowledge.
The tree of knowledge.
Okay, now.
The tree of life.
The tree of life. So
Wisdom.
the tree of knowledge of good and evil.
Yes.
The tree of life was there.
What they should have done was ate from the tree of life first and then eat the tree of
Get out.
And the tree to be desired to make one wise.
Get out.
That's the wisdom.
So is that the tree that she took from? Was the one?
No. Well, yeah.
Yes.
Knowledge of good and
Good
evil.
and evil.
He took that one.
So,
He didn't get out.
get out of here.
David said, bye, Dot.
All right. You said that there was a fig tree there. Let's look at it. Verse 7, and the eyes of them both were open, and they knew that they were naked.
Yeah.
And they sewed fig leaves together.
You said olive tree.
No, I said
She
fig
said
tree.
she said fig.
I think fig tree.
David said, fig tree.
Sewed fig leaves together and made themselves aprons.
I would think that they would have, any tree that God has hallowed is probably going to be, was probably in that garden. Olive trees. He likens himself to the olive branch. And olive.
I wouldn't doubt it because we're going to read here in a little bit what it says.
Oh.
You're gonna keep making the thing go off over and over.
And verse 8, and they heard the voice of the Lord God walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yahweh. That's what that says right there. Amongst the trees of the garden. And the Lord called unto Adam, and he said, where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid because I was naked, and I hid myself. And he said, who told thee that thou wast naked? Naked. Hast thou eaten of the tree whereof I commanded thee that thou shouldest not eat? And the man said, the woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. What is this?
Equality.
So he's a feminist too.
Abortion rights.
He's a feminist. He's a feminist. And the woman said, I'm sorry, and the Lord and Yahweh said unto the woman, what is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, the serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. This is modern feminism. She didn't want to take
It
accountability.
began.
She did not want to take accountability. All right, and did he? And the Lord God said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go. We move down to 16. Unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow and thy conception. In sorrow thou shalt bring forth children, and thy desire shall be to thy husband, and he shall rule over thee. Alpha. This is when you can see that God made a transitional shift in the leadership. All right. And unto Adam he said, because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife. See how much of a sin that is? And hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, thou shalt not eat of it. Cursed is the ground for thy sake. Sorrow shalt thou eat of it all the days of thy life. This is why when men would go to work, there's nothing sweet about it. Don't bring this food home. And it's for the rest of our life. Not even, a woman, she'll stop bearing children,
So then a woman shouldn't have to work like that. The type of work.
No, not like that. She shouldn't.
Listening to his wife over God.
They should have done that. Thorns also and thistles shall it bring forth to thee. Thou shalt eat the herb of the field. In the sweat of thy face shalt thou eat bread, till thou return unto the ground. For out of it wast thou taken, for dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. And Adam called his wife's name Eve, because she was the mother of all living. Adam also and to his wife did the Lord God make coats of skins and clothing. I had to get all the way down to that, because they thought that the fig leaves could what?
Cover their sin.
So I'm telling you all this stuff to say, man, Israel, Yahshua, we are blessed people. We're supposed to be blessed. The way God intended for us was to be blessed. These people were naked, and everything was fine, because God is like, listen, y'all are my people. I'm not going to expect from y'all so much. Just do what I say. Yahshua, but we keep messing up. And we think that sacrifices can fix it, don't we? Or we think, oh, let me go take this fig leaves. You know what fig leaves look like? Pretty good. Put a couple fig leaves together like this. Cover yourself up.
They tried it. I have to sort.
Yeah, they figured it out. They looked at all the leaves of the different trees. If you find an apple tree and the leaves are small, fig leaves are come out like this. I don't know. So he ended up making the skins to cover them. But that's how long will the leaves last?
Not long at all.
They get crispy. They're gonna cover yourself with leaves. I guess they can go get some more, right? But with leather, that's what God did, right?
Yes.
And some leather, that's gonna last for a while. Last in the heat. And he took them out of the garden. Why? They had to get out of the garden because he said you're not gonna eat for free anymore. I don't believe it for free. All right, so we're done there. I just want us to look at a time in which we will all have our own vine You remember when God?
It's not even that big.
Yeah, it's big enough.
Yeah, you just got to put them together. That's why I said just like this and like this. Cover it up.
Compared to his leg, that's a big size.
Can't cover well.
Yeah, just put them
Maybe you
together.
cover Adam.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's one of those.
But these are big, Mom. And these
Big.
are the ones that
love
were
her too.
the ones that were in our
You just-
yard. I
They
mean,
just
that came
cover the
over.
most important parts anyway.
Yeah.
Probably.
It's well fitted. Listen,
You're smart, right?
Yeah.
He looked around and said, what can we use?
Yeah.
Oh, look. Cover them up. Let's look forward to a time where we'll all be able to have, if we have milk, that means, what does that prove that we have?
Cows or sheep or
Wouldn't you-
cattle.
Wouldn't you like to be able to go outside?
Yeah. I like to do
Milk
that.
and honey.
If we have honey, that means we have what?
Bees.
We have bees. What do bees give us?
Cultivate.
They give us honey, but
And
Right.
they must-
It keeps
and
us
pollinate.
pollinated.
They
Yeah,
pollinate.
pollinating.
okay. So that means we have vegetation.
Crops.
Okay. If we have a vine, what does that mean?
Well, fruits to eat.
Vine.
Wine.
Wine.
Vine.
What do you use wine for?
To enjoy.
Sure, good time, right? Let's see it. Yeah. That means you're having a good time. You have vine. And then if you have a fig tree, what does that
Protection.
For healing.
mean? Healing,
And
peace,
well,
prosperity,
Mhm.
wellness.
I'm wondering, because there's various species, but this is the kind you're going to find in the store.
That's what we're-
Yeah.
And they're usually
Yeah.
in like an okra. How okra comes in that little plastic container. They're usually like that. And they're situated in.
Yum.
And they look green.
No, this is what I've seen more in the store.
Oh, yeah.
The brown fish one.
Yeah.
All right.
I don't see these very much. I haven't seen
Mm.
them actually in the store.
Y'all remember when Christ saw Nathan?
Yeah.
What does he
It
say?
was under the fig tree.
And then
Fig
what did
trees grow like
what
they
did he
provide
tell
a lot of shade.
absolutely. What did he tell him?
Before
When he saw him come walking up, what did he call him?
is man with no guile.
Okay, before that, that's true. Before that, he said, Israelite, indeed,
Yeah.
in whom there is no God. So you see what God has, that's what he wants. Before he told him, I mean, when Nathan started to speak to him, what did he tell him to win Nathan over? He said,
Before I saw you under the fig tree.
boom. And then he says, this is the Lord. And this is God. That he was able to put everything together. If you saw me on the fig tree, you knew that I was praying or hoping for peace, prosperity. You knew exactly what I was doing. So you are the God who tells us that we want to absolutely get you. I'm looking for us to have these things, to be able to have our own livestock, to have our own fig trees, to have our own vines, to have all these things. Obviously, and then to have peace and prosperity, because you cannot be going through a hard time and have figs, because they will not grow. There's no water, and you're done. All right? So that's what we're looking for, this kind of a life. I got all that from my name, the Balai. So make sure y'all are looking at y'all's names. And Daniel, what's your name mean? And how do you say
That's
it?
in his pearl of knowledge and wisdom.
That guy's name is the judge.
I want him to tell me how to say it.
Not here to say.
All right, we'll stop there. Get some rest.
Like Daniel still hasn't said his name.
They can't say it is just
I'm waiting to hear it.
you can hear it.
Say hi, Uncle Daniel. He didn't come today. Is that responsible or irresponsible?
Say bye.
Pray, Father in heaven,